You're listening to Rooted, a podcast that we release every other week on Thursdays at 7 p.m. And today I have with me, why don't you go and introduce yourself?
My name is Reneson Jean-Louis. I am Haitian French American, and I'm from Miami, Florida, a senior here at Huntington University.
You're from Florida, and you came all the way to Indiana for school?
Yeah, Indiana, no beach and no beach, but I think Huntington University is a great place to be, and today I'm proud to be a Forester. Go green.
So, what kind of stuff do you do here? Like, what's your major? What kind of stuff do you do here on campus?
Well, I'm a double major in history and political science with 2 minors, one in philosophy and the other in Bible and religion. I spent a lot of time here also with the TESOL Institute, and I'm also TESOL certified. I'm involved with SAB, our Student Activities Board, as well as SAS, our Student Admission Services. And I partly do community service initiatives in town called Neighbors, which we visit widows every Sunday.
Oh wow! You do a lot here on campus, and
I do what I can.
Well, that's awesome. So, what kind of stuff do you do with TESOL, SAB, and the going to visit the widows and everything?
Well, we believe that loneliness isn't for anyone, and I think the beautiful thing about Huntington University is it teaches you a lot about community. And so my big initiative of that is to make sure that the community doesn't stop here on campus, but that it actually extends to Huntington, the town, and Huntington County. And so being involved with Neighbors just allows me to keep company those widows who have long lost their partners that God has bestowed them with, right? And that's just one example of the many examples that I participate in the community at large. Campus Life is another initiative that we are passionate about here in Huntington, and I think volunteering with Liz Adams helps show the love that Christ extends to all people, all youth, and all persons of all age. Because I think it's impactful for me and my own soul as well, too.
Well, that's awesome. That's just a lot. I can't imagine having that big of a schedule of stuff to do. 2 majors, 2 minors. And all that stuff. It must be a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, it is a lot of work, but I think one of the things that, again, was instilled by me by Huntington University and the relationships between the professors was discipline. Kay Arthur, a phenomenal woman, and a theologian at that once said, and I quote, "Greatness is never achieved, nor dreams ever realized apart from great discipline," end quote. And I think the discipline that I've been able to capture here has helped me really navigate through all the world's busyness, through my schedule, but also just through this world we call, HU life, HU bubble. But I'm excited, I'm happy. Again, like I said, I think it's an awesome opportunity to take advantage of. And as a 5th year super senior, I have really taken advantage of the opportunities that fell kind of in my lap.
Okay, that's awesome stuff. But I wanted to know, what are you, with all this stuff you're doing, all these majors and minors, is there any end goal you could see yourself doing after college?
Yeah, I think one of my biggest pursuits is in the public sector, really helping out communities and really being an impactful force in the greater scheme of things. Some might say, in other words, a politician. I might say a community activist. After graduation, though, I hope to work with a nonprofit in Miami, Florida, called Touching Miami with Love. Also acronym TML, and what they do is they go into the historically marginalized, subjugated communities to help under-resourced and underprivileged children through their education initiative, through their programming, and through just the Christ based roles that they play in community. Hopefully I'll do that for a year, and afterwards I hope to pursue my master's degree at Yale University. which will be a treat within itself. It's a Master's of Divinity with a concentration in women, gender, and sexuality.
Oh, that sounds really cool. I'm really excited for that. I'm excited for you about that. But what are you with getting the master's? What are you hoping to do with that part of your life?
Yeah, I hope to focus my interest in exactly what I just mentioned: women, gender, and sexuality. I think these are critical conversations that need to be had now in America. These are questions that are causing maybe some churches to be divided on, but other churches to unite. But most definitely that the conversation is at least being had about marginalized groups, about groups that have been here since the beginning of time and yet have no voice in a lot of the decisions that are made that affect them. And so I think it's very important for me to go on and focus on those concentrations. I'm also interested in social work because that's exactly what I'm doing now. And I think I've been most recently talking to the amazing folks at the Student Development Center here at Huntington University to look into Masters of Social Work at Columbia University, at the University of Pennsylvania, who aren't afraid of discussing these matters that some in the church may deem liberal or progressive, but that these are humane issues that need to be talked about.
Okay, yeah, I get you. I understand that having to have these types of conversations. Well, back to being here at Huntington, I was kind of also wondering, is there any interesting, funny stories you have with your majors, with everything you've been doing? Anything that really stuck out that you'll have that memory of Huntington once you graduate?
To be honest, I mean, it's a lot of experiences here at Huntington University that you can talk about as a student. Some that will hopefully be kept secret for the rest of your life, and some that, I mean, you can talk about any given other day, right? I mean, whether it's going to the volleyball games and enjoying just the student section, going crazy there, or whether it's joking with your professors via dinner time, like Professor Smith, who enjoys his dinners with majority of students almost on a daily basis. I think one of my funniest moments, though, would probably be living in Wright Hall freshman year and playing mattress tackle. One of my fondest memories of just a whole bunch of guys getting together to tackle each other via mattresses.
What made you decide the University of Pennsylvania or the University of Columbia for social studies?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm choosing to go to Yale first to get my dual master's degree, one in Master's of Divinity, and the second master's will be in Sacred Theology, with a concentration in women, gender, and sexuality. The reason why I want to go get one more master's after Yale, specifically at Columbia, is to get one that focuses more into social work, because just my resume feeds into that, working with juvenile delinquents, working with marginalized youth, under-resourced and underprivileged minority groups. I think it fits right into the field of social work.
Isn't the University of Yale a huge responsibility set up just to get ready for a master's?
Yeah, I think the application process is very competitive. It took me about a year and a half to finish my application process for Yale. In preparation for it, it took me maybe about 9 months. So maybe a total of 2 years and a half working towards the idea of even getting into Yale.
So when did you get the idea to go to Yale for your master's?
Partially just coming to Huntington University and waking up one morning and realizing that I'm my best investment. And then going from there, I think if you want to break it down into percentages, it has to be maybe 40% talent, maybe 40% ambition, and let's just say, right, 10% luck. Because at the end of the day, these schools turn down top-notch students from all around the world.
So why did you want to get into social studies? I heard you talking about minorities and people working in the town.
Yeah, it's not too far from what I've always been interested in, which is the legal field. And the hope actually is to ultimately end up at Harvard Law School to get a JD. And I think just in preparation for Harvard, it's just getting that master's of social work. I'm focusing on some of the humanities and the arts that I think are so fascinating, like women, gender, and sexuality. Because I think within the church, these topics will be ones that we have to address and we can't leave taboo, especially with what you see in North Carolina happening with the bill. Transgender bill, especially when you see all across America happening with just the LGBT community. And I think it's just vital for me to prepare myself in a grand way. And I have patience and ambition. So a couple of those together, I think I can go really far.
So you plan to go into Harvard along with all the other stuff. What would you say is that keeps you moving? You talked about discipline before, and is there anything else that would be that you would use to keep yourself pushing forward?
Yeah, it's the idea that when you are working for the Lord and you know that He's gifted you with the talents, to not make it go to waste, to not let it sit and do nothing. I think, again, one of the things that I like to see in life is just investments grow. And I myself am my own investment, so I like to see myself grow, and I like to see myself mature and come back with dividends, come back with something to say that, wow, I've really put in the hours, I've really put in the work, all by the grace of God and all by the power of the Holy Spirit, of course. But I think it's something that I can really take pride in, the fact that God has gifted me with amazing talents to utilize for the furtherment, to be honest, of His kingdom.
With all that, I want to say thank you, RJ, and I'm really excited to see where God takes you.